In the City of Angels, two men are on an absolutely catastrophic collision course. One hides behind a police badge. The other, well, he hides behind a mask. Neither of them knows how to hit the brakes, and they are both careening straight toward a spectacularly destructive brick wall. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down Netflix's massive hit crime thriller, Nemesis. It's a story all about obsession, betrayal, and honestly, the deadliest game of chicken ever put on screen. Okay, let's dive into this. When the show dropped back in May 2026, critics instantly recognized that this wasn't just another run-of-the-mill police procedural. New York Magazine put it perfectly when they called this central rivalry ice-cold and entertaining as hell, and they hit the nail on the head. We're talking about a deadly serious, super high-stakes game of cat and mouse created by Courtney A. Kemp and Tawny Moreau. The tension literally grips you by the throat in episode 1 and just refuses to let go until the final credits roll. But hey, let's be totally honest for a second here. For all its dark, gritty crime thriller posturing, the show is also deeply, wonderfully pulpy. It's basically Michael Mann's cinematic masterpiece Heat, but heavily spiced with intense marital melodrama and criminals rolling up to shootouts wearing bedazzled hockey masks. I mean, come on. It is wild, it is completely chaotic, and it is entirely impossible to look away from. Part 1. Meet your match. To really understand why this powder keg of a show explodes the way it does, we have to look at the guys holding the matches. We've got LAPD Lieutenant Isaiah Stiles and criminal mastermind Coltrane Wilder. Now, they're supposed to be diametric opposites, right? The unstoppable force of crime meeting the immovable object of justice. But the hilarious, tragic reality here is that they are essentially the exact same guy. They're both fiercely intelligent leaders, they're both dangerously obsessed with outsmarting the other, and, perhaps most importantly, they're both spectacularly terrible husbands who continuously put their ambition way ahead of their own families. This mutual obsession brings us to a concept that actually serves as the title for the show's finale, zugzwang. It's a chess term. Basically, it's a situation where it's your turn to move, but absolutely every possible move you can make will only make your position worse. It's a lose-lose, and that sense of impending doom, it hovers over Isaiah and Coltrane for all 8 episodes. Every single time they try to fix their marriages or outmaneuver each other, the noose just gets a little bit tighter. Part 2. Classic cops and robbers tropes. You really can't have a crime story without a few cliches, but Nemesis sets these tropes up specifically to watch them burn to the ground in the funniest, most disastrous ways possible. Take Coltrane's master plan, for instance. The guy genuinely suffers from the one last job delusion. Step 1, you look your pregnant wife, Ebony, deep in the eyes and promise her you're leaving the criminal life behind forever. Step 2, immediately agree to rob a multi-million-dollar shipment of ketamine. And step 3, act totally shocked when your unhinged crew member, Dayan, steals the drugs, gets cornered by the cops, and literally burns the entire warehouse to the ground before getting gunned down. Just flawless execution, Coltrane. Truly a masterclass. Now, what's really interesting about Isaiah's side of the whole work-life balance equation is how badly he miscalculates. If you're in family therapy trying to save your marriage, forgetting an anniversary, sure, that's bad. Prioritizing your badge over your son's basketball game, yeah, definitely worse. But leading a vengeful, reckless police raid into your suspect's home and physically destroying the baby nursery his grieving wife had literally just set up, yeah, that's gonna rank pretty high on the reasons my wife left me list. Isaiah's descent into obsession completely blinds him to his own cruelty. Part 3. The chaos escalates. And man, that cruelty has serious consequences. As we push into the back half of the season, all those petty mind games and therapy sessions are completely thrown out the window. The tension spikes, and the bloodbath truly begins. So, what exactly happens when you combine an obsession for justice with severe daddy issues? Well, you get pure, unadulterated carnage. The pacing here is just relentless. One day, the warehouse is burning. Literally the very next day, a routine traffic stop erupts into a massive shootout. And the guy firing an assault rifle at LAPD officers is none other than Amos. That's Isaiah's own father, who Coltrane secretly recruited. I mean, no way, right? And if that's somehow not bad enough, the dominoes just keep falling. By day 3, Coltrane shows up at Isaiah's house and murders Amos in cold blood, right in front of Isaiah's hiding son, Noah. Panic, backstabs, bodies are dropping everywhere. Part 4. Moles, Cartels, and Murder. With Amos dead and the police breathing down everyone's necks, the neat little lines of good guys and bad guys completely evaporate. Both men are backed into a corner, tangled in a messy web of their own creation, and the betrayals are coming from inside the house. You've got Officer Harper operating as a secret police mole for Coltrane's associate Charlie. You've got Andre setting up the crew on the ketamine deal. But let's see how this builds. The biggest, most shocking betrayal belongs to our supposed hero, Isaiah. Stripped of his badge and absolutely desperate, Isaiah completely crosses the moral Rubicon by picking up the phone and hiring the Alvarez cartel to put a hit on Coltrane. So the cartel is moving in, Coltrane is heavily armed and desperate to save his wife, Isaiah's teenage son Noah is wandering the streets looking for revenge. When all these heavily armed, deeply traumatized people converge, who actually survives the final shootout? Part 5. The final standoff. It all comes down to a heart-pounding, totally chaotic finale inside a hospital. Coltrane is cornered by the cartel, bullets are shredding the walls, and right in the middle of the crossfire is Noah, holding a gun to the man who killed his grandfather. In the chaos, Noah is shot in the leg, and Coltrane, despite being a cold-blooded killer, surprisingly stops to help stop the boy's bleeding. When Isaiah finally bursts onto the scene, he has the ultimate drop on his nemesis. So the crucial point is, for the very first time in 8 episodes, Isaiah looks at his bleeding son, drops his obsession, and chooses family. He stays to save Noah's life, and he just watches as Coltrane slips away into the shadows. Part 6. Who wins in the end? The smoke clears, the sirens fade, and as we think about the fallout of this massive, citywide war, we really have to ask, who actually won? The answer is literally no one. Remember Zugzwang? This is exactly what it looks like. Think about this absolute wreckage. Isaiah loses his police badge, his wife Candace finally leaves him for a lawyer, his son is physically and emotionally scarred. And on the other side, Coltrane loses his millions, his crew is dead, his criminal empire is ashes, and he becomes a fugitive on the run, separated from his pregnant wife. They destroyed each other's lives completely. And yet audiences and critics couldn't get enough of this destruction. Despite the Tyler Perry-esque melodrama and the massive, gaping cliffhangers, this intoxicating formula of high-octane suspense and deeply flawed characters earned a massive 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It completely dominated the #1 spot on streaming charts. It leaves us dangling right on the edge of our seats. With Coltrane operating in the shadows as a fugitive, and Isaiah broken, stripped of his badge and his family, all the rules of engagement are just gone. If they meet again, there is no law to hold either of them back. Which begs the question, going forward, who is the real Nemesis now? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I know I'm already counting the days until season 2. Stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.